Episode 80. I'm busy, I don't think I can go with you. For lunch, I'll just buy food from outside. Tanhua immediately refused Lan Yanjin's offer. First thing first, she still had a lot of work to do since her company was still new in the industry. How could she play around as she wished, just like the old days? Now she wasn't an office boy anymore. She was the boss of a big, popular company now. Alright, but I'll pick you up after your work ends, okay? Just call me later. Lan Yanjin's voice immediately sounded dejected as the man reluctantly cut the call. Tanhua didn't want to have lunch with him. It's fine, but he wouldn't let Nanshan pick her up after work. The engagement part was only 2 days ahead. He better show Nanshan where he belongs. How dare he try to court back Tanhua after abandoning her? Tanhua put down her phone and sighed for the nth time that day. Lan Yanjin had become aggressive these days, not to mention Nanshan also began to make his move. This will be tiring. 12 p.m. Boss. Someone sent you this lunchbox. The secretary had just put the flower inside a vase and placed the vase on a table reserved for guests who came visiting the boss's office when she already had to deliver things to Tanhua for the second time. Lunch? Did Yanjin send me lunch like usual? Tanhua coughed, trying to keep up with her act. She had to act lovey-dovey with Lan Yanjin in front of the others, so Nanshan would at least understand her feelings when he approached Maishu before. Did Lan Yanjin send her lunch? But he just asked her to go out for lunch. How could he suddenly send her food? It's not from young Master Lan. This time, it's from young Master Nan. The secretary put the box of food on Tanhua's working table as she wiped her sweat. Somehow, she was working as an errand boy, more than a secretary now. From Nanshan? Tanhua was startled when she knew the truth. Did that demon also send her lunch? It's so rare for him. When they were dating before, he never sent her lunch. He could act sweet like this only when he wanted something from her, huh? Yes. And there's a letter there, so the secretary couldn't help but admire Tanhua more than usual. She knew that her fiancé always sent food or things while she was still working. And now there was one more guy who did that. Her boss was really a femme fatale, wasn't she? Tanhua picked up the food box and saw a letter on top of the box. She was curious about the letter, so she chased away her secretary first, before she read the letter written in Nan Shen's handwriting. Dear Tanhua, I know you are busy, and you must feel hungry, so here I send you food. It's not ordinary food because I made it myself. Yin can give testimony about this. Have a good meal. Homemade food? Nan Shen can cook? Tanhua stared at the lunchbox in front of her with amazement. She slowly opened the box, and her eyes were immediately greeted by a sight of a neat, beautiful Japanese-style lunchbox. There was spicy fried chicken, oyster sauce vegetable, grilled sausage, scrambled egg, and plain white rice. Nanshan even went as far as getting Tanhua a pack of salad along with hot tea inside a thermos. He made all of this? Tanhua shouted in her mind, seeing the delicious-looking food in front of her. Usually, the food Lan Yanjin sent to her was the food he bought from a restaurant or something. She was getting sick of it. Now Nanshan suddenly sent her an obvious-looking homemade meal. She wouldn't doubt that Nanshan really did make this on his own, since all he had were humanoid maids back in his house, which he couldn't trust to cook. What a wife-husband material. Tanhua happily dug in after she took a picture of her lunchbox. She was going to tease Nanshan later with the picture weight. No! She couldn't let Nanshan know that she ate the food he made. Otherwise, he would think that she already forgave him. Tanhua silently ate her lunch, and later asked her secretary to throw the box away, as well as threatening her not to tell anyone that she ate the food. Just pretend that she never touched the food at all. She wouldn't admit that the food tasted so good that she couldn't help but crave more. Yes, boss. I'll do as you say. The secretary grinned from ear to ear, listening to Tanhua's ridiculous demand. The girl immediately left Tanhua's office carrying the empty box to throw it away. So full. Tanhua stroked her belly as she slumped down on her black leather chair. Her eyes subconsciously followed the eye, catching blue rose on top of a table not far from her place. That area was a small living room, so she could receive her guests in her office. Now the rose was put there. Wait. Wouldn't people ask where she got such a rare rose? No. She was thinking too much. No one would ask unless Nan Shen or Lan Yanjin came. Boss, young Master Nan is here. Just as Tanhua thought no one would visit her, her secretary suddenly opened the door with a pale face. The girl acted as if the one coming was a debt collector instead of a handsome angel. What? Chase him away. I don't have an appointment with him. Tanhua choked on her own saliva, hearing what her secretary said. Nan Shen was here? Speak of the devil. but he said that he is here to talk about the matter with the business relationship between his company and this company. He also said that he already made an appointment with the receptionist before. The secretary glanced at the blue rose on the table before looking back at Tanhua, who was panicking as if the world was about to end now. Hide the flower. Wait. Just throw it away in the trash can over there, but later pick it up again and clean it. Tanhua hurriedly fixed her appearance for no reason, as she commanded her secretary to get rid of the rose. If Nan Shen knew she kept the rose, he would feel like he still had hope. This couldn't happen at all. The secretary didn't understand why Tanhua tried so hard to be cold to Nan Shen, when she knew for sure that her boss actually had feelings for Nan Shen, and not for Lan Yanjin. Was this a drama of an upper-class family? She could never understand it. 10 minutes later. Boss, I brought the guest. The secretary went to pick up Nan Shen, and now she was back with the man waiting in front of the office door. Nan Shen came in full formal attire, looking like a serious businessman compared to his usual attire, almost bewitching Tanhua with his appearance alone. Good afternoon, miss. Nan Shen pretended like he wasn't in a close relationship with Tanhua as he stepped inside the room. The man really acted like he was here for business matters and not personal ones. Good afternoon, young Master Nan. Please sit down. Tanhua stood up from her office chair before walking to the sofa prepared to receive the guest. The girl glanced at the empty vase on the table and secretly sighed in relief that they acted fast to get rid of the flower. Anne, thank you. I'm here to discuss the contract with your company. Nan Shen squinted his eyes, seeing an empty flower vase on the table, but he kept his business smile on his face. He was here to talk business as well as execute his other plan to court Tanhua. Right now, he couldn't let Lan Yanjin get close to her until the engagement party came. All right, let's talk. Tanhua turned into her business mode as she began discussing the contract Nan Shen wanted to talk about. Their conversation was going smoothly like a business meeting when the man suddenly saw a bright blue object inside a trash can, not far from his seat. Huh? Isn't that the blue rose he gave to Tanhua? Nan Shen's heart stopped beating for a millisecond when he saw the familiar rose bouquet inside the trash bin. It looked fresh, so it must be the rose that had just been delivered. Doesn't this mean it's indeed the rose he gave to Tanhua? Mr. Nan? What's wrong? Tanhua sweated when she saw Nan Shen staring at the trash bin with furrowed eyebrows. Did Nan Shen notice the blue rose she threw in the trash bin before? Well, on one side, she wanted Nan Shen to see how she threw away the rose he gave as a form of her revenge. But on the other hand, she didn't really want to hurt this man. Arg, whatever. Let's just stick to the revenge plan. That blue rose. Nan Shen bit his lips as he pointed his finger to the trash bin with a trembling shoulder. He knew Tanhua would treat him coldly, but to even throw away the rose he got with lots of hardship. He still felt dejected. One of my admirers sent me that. But I don't like that man, so I threw away the rose. Tanhua pretended, as if Nan Shen, who sent her the flower, was not the same Nan Shen sitting in front of her. Tanhua's face changed into a disgusted expression. She casually waved her hand, asking Nan Shen not to mind the rose sent by her mere admirers. One of your admirers, huh? Nan Shen smiled sweetly, even though he gripped his pants tight. His jaw clenched as he tried to keep his calm in front of Tanhua. He was a business partner now, not someone who was closely related to Tanhua. But still, hearing that he was mentioned only as one of Tanhua's admirers, his heart hurt. It felt as if his heart was bleeding without blood. It ached so much that he wished he could disappear for a moment. Could this be what Tanhua felt when he treated her coldly before? She must have felt just as terrible as he did now. Yes, one of my admirers. That guy even sent me a handmade lunch. I didn't bother to look at it though. My secretary there ate it. Tanhua cleverly mentioned the lunch to give a double pain to Nan Shen's heart. Seeing the man force a smile for the first time in her life, she felt satisfied. All this time, it was always her getting hurt by this man's actions. Today, it was the vice versa. What about the vase? I wonder why it's empty. Is it also a gift from your admirers? Nan Shen didn't want to give up being bullied verbally by Tanhua. The man then quickly asked about the empty case on the table. He was suspicious about the vase on the table. After all, why would there be an empty flower vase if there wasn't any flower being put inside? Could it be Tanhua bought the vase to keep his rose, but then knowing he came, she threw away the flower? That cold sweat ran through Tanhua's back as the girl looked at her secretary, trying to ask for help. Nan Shen really did have sharp eyes to be able to notice the empty flower vase and even ask about it. This man didn't want to lose, huh? As expected of someone with high pride and ego. Tanhua's secretary also had a wry smile on her face, hearing Nan Shen's question. How could they say that the vase was bought to put the blue rose? I wonder which admirer sent this cheap flower vase. Nan Shen snickered, seeing Tan Hua and her secretary go silent. His guess must be right. Tan Hua hurriedly bought the vase, and thus she could only buy a normal one. If the vase was given by her so-called admirers, the vase should be expensive. Tan Hua was about to refute Nan Shen's words to at least make her plan go smoothly, when suddenly security knocked on the office door. Boss, young Master Lan sent you a red rose bouquet. The security stepped inside the room, bringing a big red rose bouquet, not inferior to the bouquet Nan Shen gave. It is finally here? Quick! Put it inside the vase. Tan Hua's previously nervous face suddenly turned bright. Maybe Lady Luck was smiling at her, but the timing was very good. Good job, Lan Yanjin. You are the best. Young Master Lan? Nan Shen froze on the spot as he looked at the fresh, big red rose being put inside the vase. It was as if the vase was there to wait for the rose. Yeah, he is my beloved fiancé. He told me he would send me flowers this morning, so I could only hurriedly ask my secretary to buy the vase. Tan Hua raised her chin high, when she quickly gained back the upper hand in the talk. She didn't know how the hell Lan Yanjin suddenly sent her a flower, but this perfectly fit her excuse. Tan Hua giggled as she pretended to admire the rose, which was already being put inside the vase now. Her excuse, she said before, was already perfect. The vase was empty because she was waiting for Lan Yanjin's rose to arrive. Beloved. Nan Shen gritted his teeth as all his previous guesses shattered into pieces. He thought Tan Hua only pretended to throw away the blue rose he gave since he saw an empty vase on the table, but the vase was actually for Lan Yanjin's rose. Yes, we will hold an engagement party 2 days from now. Mr. Nan, you have to come. Tan Hua felt so satisfied seeing Nan Shen's face darken, like the bottom of a burnt kettle. To Nan Shen, this engagement party would be the stage she prepared to execute the final part of her plan. Oh, I'm invited? What an honor. Nan Shen tightened his knuckle, but still maintained his perfect business smile on his face, even though his emotions were boiling within. No. It's our honor for someone like Mr. Nan to attend our engagement. We will send the invitation, so please do come. Tan Hua smiled sweetly with her cheeks slightly flushed, looking exactly like a girl in love waiting for her special day. Seeing Tan Hua's expression, Nan Shen's heart was stabbed again, this time with a deep ache. He knew that the expression she wore used to be meant for him, when she still loved him. But now, how could she make that kind of expression for another man and not him? Good, I'll come. The discussion is over. I'll excuse myself. Nan Shen couldn't bear to stay any longer. The man felt suffocated, and his chest was heavy. He knew exactly what this was. He was heartbroken. Secretary Z, escort Mr. Nan. Tan Hua stood up from her chair as she asked her secretary to send Nan Shen off. Usually, the boss would personally send off an honorable guest like Nan Shen, but Tan Hua asked her secretary instead. This made Nan Shen even more heartbroken. He fully realized it was arrogant of him to believe that Tan Hua would still love him after all the hurt he caused. He could easily give up and date any of the girls chasing after him, but somehow he didn't want to. He only wanted to be with someone he loved. And none of those other girls were Tan Hua. He still loved her. Nan Shen gripped the document in his hand tighter as he left the room with a storm of thoughts in his mind. He felt helpless, desperate to win her back, but not knowing how. What else could he do if Tan Hua didn't want to open her heart to him anymore? Not to mention, she looked genuinely fine with Lan Yanjin. Maybe she really had fallen for him, seeing how kind that man was. Lan Yanjin was, truthfully, a good man to Tan Hua aside from the time when he tried to hold her back to get information. But besides that, Lan Yanjin had treated her far better than he ever did. Nan Shen's heart ached, thinking about it. He was at his wit's end. What could he possibly do to regain Tan Hua's trust? He didn't want to hurt her or make her cry ever again. But if the only place she could smile now was with someone else, should he let her go? Nan Shen remained lost in thought on his way back to the company. The idea of letting Tan Hua go and forgetting her completely should have been simple. He had to move on if she would truly be happier with Lan Yanjin. But the real question was, could he? Could he really forget Tan Hua and try to fall in love with someone new? Deep down, he knew he couldn't. Not yet. No matter what. He still didn't want to see her be happy with someone else while he stood on the sidelines. Nan Shen sighed as he looked out the car window. He couldn't give up just yet. But he needed to know, did Tan Hua still love him or not? What method could he use? While Nan Shen was deep in thought, trying to figure out Tan Hua's true feelings, the girl was arranging the flowers again for the second time. Buy one more vase. This time, buy an expensive one. Tanhua looked at the red rose on the table with a hint of amusement in her eyes. She had successfully made Nanshen believe she had chosen Lan Yanjin over him. Thank goodness Lan Yanjin's gift came at the right time. Otherwise, her whole plan might have fallen apart. She still needed Nanshen to experience a little more heartache. Compared to the pain she had felt from him and the suffering Tanhua endured, this was only a taste of justice. Boss, you want to put the blue rose in the expensive vase? Tanhua's secretary stole a glance at her working table, confusion written all over her face. She really couldn't understand her boss's way of thinking. Boss Tan had picked up the blue rose again, and after cleaning it, she put it on top of her working table, waiting for the new vase to be delivered. It's clear how she really treasured that blue rose. She chooses to buy a new, expensive vase for the blue rose while letting the red rose be put inside a normal vase. If the boss clearly prefers Mr. Nan over Mr. Lan, why would the boss need to act like a jerk before? What are you doing still standing there? Go buy the vase. Tanhua glared at her secretary. Seeing the girl didn't move to buy a vase, but instead stared at her as if she was a weird clown or something. Yes, boss. Secretary Z immediately ran away from Tanhua's office to buy the vase, afraid that Tanhua would cut her wage again, just like the case with the last time they met Mr. Nan on the way home. Tanhua looked at Secretary Z's back and couldn't help but sigh. She really had the urge to dump this secretary to Wu Yin, so this girl wouldn't stick her nose into other people's business. That Secretary Z is being a curious person must be because she doesn't have a love interest. Wait, dumping her to Wu Yin? That's a good idea. Tanhua grinned from ear to ear as she rubbed her palms together. At the engagement party, she better invite Secretary Z and match her with Yu Yin. This way, Secretary Z could become her spy to secretly monitor Nanshen through Wu Yin. Tanhua hurriedly texted Lan Yanjin, asking him for 2 more invitations to their planned engagement party. She would invite both Secretary Z and Wu Yin. 2 days later. The dress you picked is superb. Lan Yanjin admired Tanhua, who had just finished her makeup from a seat not far from hers. Really? This is the newest dress for a party. Princess gown. Tanhua twirled in her dress as she laughed happily, feeling good that she finally could wear a nice dress too. The dress she picked for the engagement party was similar to Cinderella's dress. The gown was blue in color with tiny diamonds placed as accessories on the skirt part. Of course, this was Lan Yanjin's idea to show how much he treasured Tanhua. He had a dress made with actual diamonds. The dress was an off-shoulder design, revealing Tanhua's white shoulders gracefully. At first, Lan Yanjin hesitated at the idea of such a gown, but after Tanhua convinced him by promising to wear the necklace he had chosen for her, the man finally agreed. Yes, you look pretty in this dress. Even your hair matches it really well. Lan Yanjin showered Tanhua with praise. He couldn't help doing so because right now, the girl looked stunning. Her hair was arranged into an elegant updo with a delicate diamond crown resting on her head. It wasn't an exaggeration to call the ensemble a princess set. As if the real diamond crown and the glittering skirt weren't enough, Lan Yanjin even let Tanhua wear specially made glass heels to match her look. She had been waiting for a special event to wear them, and tonight was the perfect night. But to make glass shoes, of course, wasn't easy. Lan Yanjin ensured they were crafted with care, sturdy enough to not break and cause any harm to her feet. They were far more special than ordinary heels and exquisite detail in her dreamlike outfit. Thank you. Now, what should we do? Tanhua sat down on a bench, prepared in the room with a smile on her face. She wondered what kind of expression Nanshen would have on his face seeing her like this. Would he fall for her all over again? Here, wear the necklace first. Lan Yanjin gently touched Tanhua's shoulder and slowly helped her put on the necklace. The way he placed the necklace around her neck reminded her so much of when Nanshen had done the same. She froze for a moment, lost in the memory. Just now, she suddenly recalled the event when Nanshen gave her a necklace for the first time. But it was a pity she wouldn't be wearing that necklace today. She wouldn't even use the ring Nanshen had given her, as it was still with him. Never mind. Lan Yanjin would be placing an engagement ring on her finger soon, as the final step of her plan. She should just enjoy the moment. Her revenge against Nanshen and Ren Yuan was almost complete. Ren Yuan's company was in a dire situation now, going exactly as she planned. The man had sent a few of his people to beg her so that his business partner would return and let him do a project together. But of course, she refused. Ren Yuan had tried underhanded tricks, like sending people to protest against her company and brand. But now, she had power and could silence those paid troublemakers with ease. Now, no one could obstruct her plans anymore. The engagement party later would be fun. Long time no see, young Master Nan. One of the guests waiting for the party to start at the ballroom approached Nan Shen, who was walking around aimlessly. "Ah, long time no. See you too." Nan Shen quickly wore his angelic smile on his face. As he greeted the guest he didn't even remember the name of. He wouldn't possibly be able to remember unimportant people's names, alright? Young Master Nan truly is lucky to be able to have a business relationship with Louvre brand. This old man is envious. The middle-aged man spoke again with clear intention, wanting to use Nan Shen to connect his company to the Louvre brand. "What are you talking about? I'm not really that lucky." Nan Shen showed a dry smile as he waited patiently for the middle-aged man to go away. For an unknown reason, the guests invited here were all people with a connection to the fashion industry. He saw many well-known designers also attending the party. Maybe because they wanted to be introduced to Tan Hua, the one designer who created a new era in this world. Nan Shen kept talking with the middle-aged man while his mind was somewhere else. He didn't expect Tan Hua to grow this much from someone who didn't know anything about business. From someone who once had to work as an office boy just to live. The girl had now already established a company despite all the challenges. Many famous designers admired her, and companies sought her out. Her company could be considered newly established, but it already rivaled his own. Was it a good decision that he helped Tan Hua in the past? Looking at how his company was elevated to an international scale, his decision back then had been wise, yet he felt Tan Hua was growing distant from him. The girl didn't need him anymore, and she had already paid off all her debts. She still allowed his company to continue transactions with hers only because of a contract. But even if Tan Hua broke the contract, she could easily pay the compensation. Tan Hua wanted to take revenge on him and his company, right? Then why didn't she? She had been very firm toward Ren Yuan's company, but she hadn't touched his. Nan Shen sighed again, wishing the middle-aged man would suddenly choke on his drink or something so he could leave. Suddenly, Ren Yuan appeared with Mishu, saving him from the awkward conversation. "Nan Shen, what are you doing there?" Ren Yuan frowned as he approached Nan Shen with Mishu walking next to him. Even though Ren Yuan's company was in deep trouble, the man still looked as composed and confident as ever. Wearing the latest black suit from Louvre, Ren Yuan looked as dashing as always. His black hair and deep red eyes gave him a striking, dramatic look. He still insisted on wearing red contact lenses for reasons only he knew.